folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Fat Guy Flies RC studios, and this is the all-new, just released Freewing 64mm English Electric Lightning. Let's take it out of the box and go over the parts here. Just released just a matter of days ago. Haven't seen a single video on it other than Wesley at Wes's at Motion RC. And I saw this, I said, that is something completely different, and I have got to have one. All right. Huh. Not really saying much. Of course, this is the plug and play, so I'll be using Spectrum protocol. I'll be using AR631. Does come with a go get 'em wire, because you will be needing that. Nice unfolded manual. Okay. All right. You do have to install your landing gear with steerable nose wheel all in one unit, and glue in your other gear. Your main gear comes with a nice big tube of good old foam tack glue. All your bits and bobs there. Okay, now this is a glue your wing on, and everything glues on, the wings and the elevator. And the so does the landing gear. Okay, let me get all the parts out, and then we'll go over everything. Alrighty, as you can see, everything's out of the bag. You do get a large tub of glue, or a tube of glue. Got all the only screws you're going to need are the two screws to screw on your vertical stabilizers or your horizontal stabilizers. You get a Y lead for your, I'm going to assume your ailerons, and the ailerons are actually at the very end of the wings, okay, and they're actually on top, so you can belly land this thing. And of course you glue on the rudder, and that's already hooked up for you. All your control servos are all hooked up. So all we're going to be doing is marring up the surface on these wings, attaching them, attaching the elevator, and then gluing in the rudder using that go get 'em wire to pull that rudder wire through. And that's all there is to it. And then I'll glue in the nose wheel steering, and then glue in both halves of the actually this is the top of the wing here, because the servos are actually on top, and glue in both halves of the main gear by popping out these little inserts here. They just pop right out, so the wings actually look like this. And then you have a diagram and instructions on how to put in these decals. Now there are some belly skids you can add to the bottom of the wing or bottom of the fuselage if you wish to belly land it, but I'm going to be using my gear, and I'm going to be using a nose wheel gyro and taking advantage of thrust reversing that does come with the plane. Alrighty, I'm just going to be gluing everything together, and if I run into any snags, I'll let you know, but next time you see it, we'll have it all together and we'll go over everything. Alright, well, thank you for watching. We'll be right back with the completed assembled model. Be right back. Well, hey folks, alright, we got the English Electric Lightning 64mm all put together now. Got everything glued in, everything. Let's go over the features of the plane. Now, number one, your servos are on the top in case you want to turn it into a belly lander. Now I've decided to go ahead and dedicate it as a lander, as a using the gear, and I've glued in the servo steering mechanism all in one. I've also glued in the main landing gear. You have to glue in your wings, you glue in your rudder, and then you slide both halves of your elevator in, and then you put the screws. There's only two screws of the kit, and they go directly into that hard steel or aluminum post that sticks out, and they go all the way through, and they're nice and secure. Now, I got the decals on the best that I could. These big British scallion or medallions are water slide. The lines are peel and stick. The regular decals, I did the best I could. I don't have that steady of a hand. I ended up hot gluing on the rudder because it just didn't have enough connection, and in my opinion, they don't provide a spar, which I thought that was strange. There's not a spar in it. There's one internally, but to me there should be a spar going into the fuselage, but there wasn't. And I went and did a bead of hot glue along the bottom of these wings just to make sure that they're not going to come out. So this is one solid piece. Okay, now let's go over. I got it set up by the book as far as all the ratings. I have a AR-631 directly up front here. Okay, I have a nose wheel gyro going with that steering, and I got thrust reverse engaged. The antennas are going down back towards the back and the underside, and CG is 207 millimeters back from the leading edge root, which puts it right all from here all the way back to here. It's actually on the wing, but I went ahead and put a couple of glue marks, and so where I've got my 2200 or my 2400 SMC pack, she's starting to favor tail heavy. But this does fly like a Dorito, like a death Dorito, so that would be okay. Your range is anywhere from a 2200 to an 1800 4S. However, these SMC packs, even though it's a 2400, it has the same size and weight as a 2200. So that works perfectly, and you can see where I have that. Okay, I've got it just tucked up underneath, and there's plenty of room, and I had to route the wires up front. I didn't have to use any extensions, and I just zip tied them together to make one nice bundle for cable management. All right, now let's tongue and groove on the canopy there. Let's go over our rates, and I'll show you what they look like. This, like I said, I set it up by the book. Okay, the flying rates on the ailerons, 80%, and I chose 40% expo for high rates, and that's what that looks like on ailerons. Okay, my mid rates are 70 on ailerons with 40% expo, and my low rates are 60 with 40% expo. My elevator, my high rate is 60, which is by the book, which is a lot of elevator, 40% expo. The low is 50 with 40, and the mid is 50, the low is 40, sorry. The low they call out for elevators 40, the high is 60, so I split the difference in the mid for 50. Okay, so that's high, which is 60, mid, which is 50, and low, which is 40 and 40% expo. My rudder, they chose a low rate of 80 and a high rate of 100. I just left it a one rate of 100 with 50% expo. Okay. Now, my forward programming. This is my starting settings that I may adjust from here. One-time gains. Okay, and my gains are set at on roll, pitch, and yaw 40, 30, and 50. My priority, all at 100 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Heading, I didn't do anything with. Stop lock, all at 50 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Nothing with a release rate, and the gain sensitivity is at one-time gains. Now the nose wheel gyro now, a little bit different because those one-piece rudder steering, nose gear steering are very, very pitchy. Okay, so I have the travel rate at only 75, and that looks very scale. And the settings, the heading window is 50, but the rate gain is only 25. Okay, and to show you what that looks like, you can kind of, it doesn't really move all that much. I mean, it's kind of hard for you to see on the camera, but it does move just a little bit. But that is more than enough to keep this thing steering nice and straight. Alrighty, I did set up thrust reverse, which I have on my momentary switch, which you always should. So
motor is hot and ready.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you gotta get out of the forward programming here. Okay. There. That's forward. Then move backwards. Something blocking it there.
Braking. Cruise mode.
Alrighty. And I have my flying gains, the gains adjustable up to those limits I set on the knob. So if I'm flying along and she's just super windy and horrible, then I may have the correction really high. But if it calms down and then she's starting to oscillate on me, I can always turn them down and the correction is nowhere near the same. Of course, I have safe mode on there too. You can see it's keeping its profile. But there you go.
AS3X mode.
And I also have, of course, trimming mode, where you don't have any kind of a gyro. Now, when I take off for the first time, I'll take off with the gyro turned off, get her all trimmed out, and then turn on AS3X, and it'll be just that much better. The only other thing I'm going to do is give her a nice clear coat of that my mid-wax polyacrylic, which is this product right here. And I'll just give a nice solid coat all over everything. I just don't get too much in the hinges. These are pinch hinges with laminate. So just so you know. All right, well there you go, folks. Thank you so much for watching. This is the FMS English E-Electric 64mm. Our E-Electric Lightning 64mm. We're going to get it out soon and get you a maiden, and it's all new, just released from Freewing, and I cannot wait. It just looks so unique and so different. I think it's just going to be awesome flying plane. I was watching Wes's on Motion RC, his demonstration flight, and he looked like he was having a blast, and I think I'm going to have a blast with it too. Just remember, one thing when you're setting up, make sure you put the trim. Whenever I attach these were actually up some, and what you have to do is remove your EDF panel, and there's a adjustable grub screw there, or adjustable thing, and you want to have your elevator, see how it's kind of leaning down, you want to have it lined up with that molding. So actually, when she's sitting level, she looks like she's a slight bit up elevator. So you want just to line up with that molding there. If you get lined up with that molding, you'll be in good shape. But you'll see what I mean. You take this 2 screws here, slide this out, and you'll see that adjustable screw, and it takes a 2.5 hex head to adjust it. So, alrighty, there you go, folks. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then cool English fighters. Bye-bye.